NBBL Academy Playoffs Round 2 in under 60 seconds. Go! Yeah, man, this guy's team, it's super cracked with Dialga Origin, Terra Regieleki, Terapagos, and some bulky guys like Tinglu, Mesprit, Swalot, Tinkaton, Terra Drifblim, and some solid utility with Tinkaton, Ogerpon Cornerstone, and Volbeat. Ranked first place in regular season, Adamew is really scary, but I have an idea. First off, man, AV Great Tusk, cause it rhymes with Grug. Really strong into his team, and lives Regieleki's hits after Terra. And then we have Curse Registeel, cause he rhymes with Grug. Body Press Heavy Slam, very good. And Rest, good healing. And to pair, we got Chansey. Heal Bell to get rid of those sleeves, man. And then Healing Wish to heal up a weakened guy, cause he rhymes with Grug. We gotta slow it down, man. So we got the Clodsire. Toxic Recover, Stealth Rock Earthquake. Very standard. And Water Absorb, man, stops at Keldeo. Rhymes with Grug. But then we got Screen's Grimmsnarl. Standard, man. Gotta support that Necrozma Dawnwings. Physical Dragon Dance Weakness Policy. Very good, man. Very good. Rhymes with Grug. Hope y'all enjoyed the battle. I came up with this thing, man. It's called a subscribe button. Rhymes with Grug. You should hit it. See you guys in the battle. Peace. Alright, everybody. This is a little different. I'm doing a post commentary this week. For whatever reason, the live comm did not want to work. So instead, I'm just going to do the play-by-play. So first here, looking at this team, this is generally what I expected. Drifblim is a really good mon into my team, especially Great Tusk, and everything else is just very standard. I wanted to lead Great Tusk here, mainly just because any one of these leads, Great Tusk is pretty good into for the most part, because nothing on his team really enjoys taking ground or fighting type move outside of Drifblim, who I have knockoff for, and I am speed creeping. So even then, I'm always able to do a solid chunk of damage to it. And, of course, because Chansey has Heal Bell, even if he does lead Drifblim and Will-O-Wisp me, I can always just feel free to simply Heal Bell it off. So I thought Great Tusk was an amazing first play here. The only thing that I was really scared of initially was Specs Keldeo lead, and them going for Surf, because if he is Specs, then Surf is a guaranteed kill even with my investment and an Assault Vest. So here, this is where I'm saying, yeah, good, have fun, Adam, yada yada, being all happy and nervous as hell for this battle. But yes, so here are the leads. So he ends up leading Drifblim. So I'm like, okay, this is generally okay. A little spooky because I don't exactly love taking the burn here, but I think that it is very important for me to always be able to get Chansey in and Heal Bell it off afterwards. And I really wanted to chip this thing down. I thought, hey, I can go for knockoff. If he burns me, I go into Chansey. So yes, here I do a lot of damage. I get rid of his Rocky Helmet too, take a little bit of chip, and I am feeling good as he Will-O-Wisps me. Again, I am completely fine with this because Chansey always comes in relatively easily, and I can just freely Heal Bell afterwards. So, of course, yes, he does get to Will-O-Wisp me. He could Hex here, or he could Air Slash, or whatever kind of move. He could go for Strength Sap. So that's why I go into Chansey. He can't really do much into Chansey outside of maybe Will-O-Wisp me again. So Chansey is a very good play on my part. So yep, I go into Chansey here. The only thing he can really do that threatens me is if he switches. So, of course, Chansey comes in as he also withdraws. And he switches in Keldeo. This really scared me because I was looking at it. If he is Specs, Secret Sword has a chance to kill me. Granted, if he is not Specs, then he doesn't guarantee kill me. Sorry, just pulling that up. But yeah, Chansey is in danger here if he is Specs, and I have to respect that. So I can't exactly go for that just yet. But good thing I have Clodsire, who is specifically made to beat Keldeo. With Water Absorb and my typing, nothing he can go for really hurts me unless he goes for Icy Wind. Which, why would you go for an Icy Wind against Chansey? So I bring in Clodsire as he secret swords. I'm like, okay, let me calc this real quick. I punch it all in, and I see that he's not Specs. I am very happy about that. That also means he could be Scarf. And if he is Scarf, then I'm relatively free here. And I also see he is not Life Orb, which is nice too, because even if he does have Icy Wind for Clodsire, I know for sure it's not going to do as much damage as he would want it to. Initially, I am going between Toxic, Stealth Rock, and Earthquake here. Earthquake mainly just because he could always switch into Dialga, and I don't want to just whiff a Toxic into that and give it free setup. So that's why I'm going into Earthquake. But you see here, he switches into Malos, who is his Ting Lu. Ting Lu takes just about nothing from this Earthquake, as you'd expect. This is an uninvested Clodsire. It's not going to do a lot. As I do some calcs, I can see that this thing has a significant amount of defense investment and its leftovers. And I do also see that Earthquake does a lot to me, but it does not kill me. So I am willing to risk Clodsire here to an Earthquake in order to potentially get a Toxic off, because I don't have anything on my team that really wants to switch in and be able to beat this thing. Because Tusk is burned, it's not going to do a lot, and he just always goes into whatever he goes for free. But he decides to go for Hazards, which is still good for him, but it allows me to get a Toxic off on Ting Lu, who really shuts down Necrozma, because I decided that I wanted to be quirky and run a physical stored power set. So, yeah, don't have X-Scissor for that. Not very fun. But that's why I really want to make sure that Ting Lu goes down, because if it gets to low enough HP with Toxic, if I get boosted up enough with D-Dance, Earthquake should be able to handle it. So I go into Chansey here because I don't think that there is much else he can do to me. Like, he can Earthquake, but I have a lot of physical bulk. So I want to go into Chansey and get my Heal Bell off. Also, too, I don't want to take a whole bunch of Hazard Ship. Like, Rocks is one thing, but if he goes for Spikes, I'm not happy about it. And speaking of not happy about it, I don't love that Ruination. I really don't like that at all. So he could go for Earthquake here. He genuinely could, or he could switch. So I'm not 100% sure exactly what I want to do here. I could go for Soft Boiled, or I could go for Heal Bell. I do decide to go for Soft Boiled, mainly just because I don't want to risk him going into Keldeo here as I Soft Boiled. And we will see that this is well founded, because Keldeo comes on out, who would be able to kill me with a Secret Sword. But now he can't. So now I'm in a good position, all fully healed up, a good amount, so now I can Heal Bell. At least I think. To be fair, my memory isn't the best, so we shall see. I do think that I am calcing this right now and see that Secret Sword does roughly 45 to 65% to me, ish. Or it does like 50 to 65. So I am fine taking one Secret Sword. It does a lot to me, don't get me wrong. But then I Heal Bell, and I heal up Great Tusk, who now can come back in and do a significant amount of damage into anything that wants to switch in on me. So now I'm thinking, okay, I can go into Clodsire just fine, because if this thing is Scarf like I suspect it to be, or if it is anything else for that matter, as long as it's not Icy Wind, Clodsire can wall it easily. So then I can either throw off a Toxic, I can get my Rocks up. I am in a really good position here. So, take a little bit of Rock Chip, Secret Sword, does a decent amount, does nothing. It doesn't do nothing, but it doesn't do enough to break me over multiple turns, especially with me having Recover. So what I end up doing is I want to set up my Rocks. That is also because if he is running leftovers on Terapagos, then this will break his Terra Shell. I really want to make sure I have this up just for that alone, but also I don't want him to be able to be constantly switching in and out of battle. I do also know that Driftblim does not have any boots, because it was Rocky Helmet in the first place, but I knocked it off. I know for a fact it's not boots. So there we go, that comes in here, and then I go for my Rocks. So this thing can't really switch in very easily at all. could try to burn me here, he could try to go for a strength sap, he could even go for like an air slash or a hex on me. I don't really see him going for hex right now without trying to burn me first. So I'm sort of weighing my options here. I could decide to switch into Chansey here to get a soft boiled up, which I end up doing, but I could have also gone for Toxic there to also make sure that that never happens. But I really value health on Chansey here, so that's why I want to go into that. There's not really much he can do to me here. Chansey has a very low attack stat, so even if he goes for a strength sap, it's not really going to do too much damage. No special attack is going to do a lot. This does do a surprising amount with chip and everything, but Chansey is a bulky girl. I'm not 100% sure what the rolls are here, so I calc it a little bit. I see it does maybe 10% tops. So I decided to go for a soft boiled. You see me almost terror there, and that would not have been good. So I decide I want to go for soft boiled to get my health back. I'm thinking this is all well and good, no issues here. I'm having a good time, because even if he switches, now I'm at just about half HP, so I am in a very good position to be able to switch out, natural cure off this burn, as he goes for air slash, and I clench my butt cheeks, because a flinch there would have really sucked. It really, really would have sucked. But now, I am in that position where I was hoping to be in the first place. At half HP, the burn, it's not a huge deal, so I go for another soft boiled. He could switch here into Keldeo, but I have enough HP at this point where if I soft boiled up, it's not going to do a lot to me, and anything he really wants to switch in is fine. Strength sap, I am fine with that because again, my attack stat is very low. This is very minimal healing here, as you see, so I soft boiled up. And I am right back up to full, minus a little bit because of burn damage. But now I am in a good spot. I'm not sure what exactly he could be doing here. I suspect that he is going to either switch, or he's going to go for air slash on me trying to go for flinches. So I decided to go into Clodsire, because I want to recover, or Toxic, or something along those lines. I think Clodsire is a good middle ground mon here, as he goes for Will-O-Wisp. Which, honestly, a very good play, because if I decided that I wanted to go into Great Tusk or something here to try to offensively beat him, that is completely fine. I really didn't have much else to beat this Drifblim offensively. Chansey couldn't touch it, so the best I could have done was just sit there and not do anything. So, going for that double burn was a very good play, but now I'm kind of weighing my options here. I suspect that he's going to switch, or he's going to go for Hex, in which case I want to go into Great Tusk here. Great Tusk will always be able to take a Hex pretty easily, especially without that, but he decides to switch. And what does he decide to switch into? Ting Lu. So I'm in a really good position here now because I have an unburned Great Tusk against a Ting Lu, and I am very happy where this ends up. So I'm feeling pretty here. I think that I can go for a rapid spin at this point in time because what does he really think? But at the same time, does he suspect that? Or does he think that I'm going to go for close combat and he go for Drifblim? And the more I think about it, I don't like those leftovers on Ting Lu, even if he decides that he wants to sack this. So I think that it is a good idea for me to knock this off. Also because I ran the calcs, close combat with max attack adamant does like 60% if he has max defense, so just to be for real, that's insane. But regardless, he goes into Drifblim as I knock off, which Stealth Rocks do a lot, and then Great Tusk kills Drifblim. Huge there. Aftermath does do a chunk, but remember, I have Healing Wish on Chansey. If this thing gets low enough, and I think it's a good mon for late game, I can Healing Wish Chansey up, Healing Wish on Chansey and get this thing back up. So I am feeling really good with my positioning here so far. I think, okay, if it were me, I would either go into Keldeo or I would go into Regieleki here. Either of those mons can be really good into me, and it would force me to switch. I look at my investment versus Regieleki. If he has a max special attack Modest, which I think is his best set into me, he does at minimum like 55 to 65%-ish. I could be wrong about that. But he goes into Dialga, which again is fine. It outspeeds me with a good amount of speed investment, and it can kill me from here because Draco Meteor does a lot of damage, Flash Cannon does a lot of damage. Generally speaking, this thing does a lot, and I am pretty worried at this point in time because Chansey, while it's at full HP, at this time, not gonna lie, I did not realize that Mix Dialga never OHKOs Chansey. But I was also thinking, max attack, maybe it was able to 2-hit KO me. So I go into Registeel, who is my guaranteed Dialga answer. Granted, it's not guaranteed, but you'll see what I mean here. As he goes for the most baller move, Metal Sound, to always potentially lower Chansey's special defense down and hopefully beat me in the long run. Good thing I have Clear Body. So, yes, Registeel, hardest Dialga caster in the game. Boy is coming off the bench strong as I decide that I want to get a curse up. Because at this moment in time, I'm thinking, okay, Fire Blast, it can't really do that much to me. Let's be real here. Like, it doesn't 2-hit KO me. Trust me, I checked. So, he goes for Earth Power, which does a lot of damage. Don't get me wrong, it does a lot of damage. But I go for the one curse. And now I'm like, okay, I need to body press this because Earth Power will kill me from here. I am not very happy about that. To be honest, kind of wish you went for Draco Meteor on my Switch instead of Metal Sound, if I'm going to be so real, but this is fine. I just go for body press, and this is going to do a lot of damage. Yes, this Earth Power also does a lot of damage, but remember, I have Healing Wish, so do a shit ton of damage to Dialga, absolutely demolished his health, and he has no way of healing. So now Registeel has basically done his job. He scared that Dialga to pieces, and at this moment in time, Chansey's Seismic Toss can kill this Dialga from here. And so he can't do his old Metal Sound shenanigans thing. So I go into Chansey, and he doesn't really do much damage to me here with a limp Earth Power. Does more than I would like it to. Let's be real here. That's a Dialga Origin. It still does a solid amount. Like it did a solid, 50. Which, to be honest, considering this thing is a Chansey within a Violite, that is a lot of damage. So, I decide that I want to go for a Seismic Toss. Nothing really wants to switch in on that. Nothing is immune to it because Drifblim is now dead. So, anything he wants to switch into, which I suspect Keldeo is coming into, it's not going to do a lot. And even if he does want to go for, say, Scale Shot, Dragon Tail, any move like that, if he is, mixed at all, then, again, I kill this Dialga, and I am sitting pretty. But he decides to switch. And who does he switch into? Keldeo. So, this Keldeo is slowly but surely going to be taking a solid chunk of HP, because after Rocks and Seismic Toss, this thing is basically 30% down. And now I just auto go into Clodsire. At this point, I have convinced myself that he absolutely cannot be Icy Wind, because he would have clicked it at least once this time. So I decided to switch Chansey in, or switch Chansey out, and then Clodsire in, hoping that maybe I can catch something funny. And of course, I catch a Flip Turn, and because I am Water Absorbed, that heals me up. So all that HP that it was ticking me down with on that Will-O-Wisp, yeah, that's all gone now. So, of course, what could I be doing here? I suspect that he is going into Ting Lu, trying to catch me going for Toxic again. So, what do I think I am going to do here? I'm thinking between either Grimmsnarl or Great Tusk. I think that he is going to hard switch here, but I am not guaranteeing that. So, what else can I do? I want to go for Great Tusk. I guess I want to just be a baller. I'm really banking on him just not going for another water type move, which, to be honest, yeah, don't want to really get this thing to be toxic. So, going into Great Tusk here, as he goes into Ting Lu, exactly as expected here. So, this, again, very good positioning here. What else can I really do? He can't switch into Drifblim anymore because it's dead. And anything he switches in on will die here. So I think he is probably going to just go for Earthquake here. Going to try to just let it die at this point in time, which I am very happy with because Necrozma, like I said, does dummy damage in the late game with its V-Dance and weakness policy set once this thing goes down. But I don't want the rocks, so I decide to Rapid Spin. He doesn't decide to let this thing go down as he goes into Zeke, which is his Regieleki. So this thing, it's kind of scary. Rapid Spin does a lot of damage, and honestly, kind of really surprised that he did not just let that go down, because Close Combat or Headlong Rush would have 100% killed him. But I am very scared of this thing going for a Terra Fairy or Terra Ice Terra Blast, but I can't really bank on which one he is going to go for. I don't think he's going to be physical, so I switch in Chansey just because it can kind of eat whatever he wants to go for. Like, at the end of the day, it's a Regieleki, so 100 damage, or not 100 damage, but 100 base special attack. Yes, it's going to do a chunk, especially if it's specs, but I'll always be able to live 2, and I can just soft boiled up. So I am not terribly worried about it. So we're just going to see how this ends up. Chansey comes in. No rocks as he goes for Volt Switch. Biggest balls in the league. For real, going for a Volt Switch on Great Tusk after switching in on the Great Tusk. Biggest balls in the league Adam has, for sure. But this puts him in a really good position because now he can pick who he wants to go into. Chansey is slow as balls and generally fairly passive. So anything he can go into here, it's going to force me to take some chip on something. I suspect that he is going to go into Keldeo, mainly just because Secret Sword moment. Which I am correct. If you can't tell, I am not 100% sure with myself here, with my memory. So what I decide to do, I'm not 100% sure. I do kind of look at the calcs here, and I see that I am at 60%. This I distinctly remember. And Secret Sword will do at minimum 55 to 67%. So it's roughly a 60% chance for him to kill me here with Secret Sword. And I'm kind of nervous about that. I think Chansey is really good into late game here, especially with Ting-Lu going to be going down here at some point, I suspect. And that being his only physical attacker. Everything else is special attackers, and Chansey will wall the hell out of all of them. But he goes for a hard switch into Ting-Lu. Absolute big balls here. Even though it kind of just makes sense. Like, yeah, this thing, of course it comes in against this thing. Can't really do much to me. Blocks Toxic. Like, what else can he really do? As I go into Grimmsnarl. I like Grimmsnarl here, mainly just because I can just spam Spirit Break here. Spirit Break will do a chunk to this thing. It's not going to do an amazing amount of damage because this thing is physically defensive, and Grimmsnarl does not have any any physical attack investment. But it will do a chunk, and anything he wants to switch in on, it's going to lower that special attack stat. But he opts to stay in. And it does a chunk, but that toxic damage is going to be racking up very shortly as he goes for his rocks again. And rocks are very good here into me, mainly just because it punishes me for switching, which can't really fault him there. But Great Tusk is still at enough HP to where I can potentially Rapid Spin away his hazards. So what I decide to do is I go into Great Tusk, because I want to possibly go for a Rapid Spin on this thing or just straight up kill it. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to take a little bit of chip damage here, as he's going to go for an Earthquake. An Earthquake is going to do a chunk to me. It's going to knock me down. And I'm kind of nervous here, because I could go for Rapid Spin and get rid of these hazards if he opts to switch. Or he could opt to stay in and go for Earthquake again, which then, in fact, will kill me. So I am not very sure what to do here. I do think I want to just go for close combat, mainly just because I want to kill this thing. If I have to sack Great Tusk at the end of the day, then okay, that's what I have to do. And it works out, because this thing 100% would have killed me afterwards, and then I would have been down a Great Tusk anyways. So at the very least, I took out his Ting-Lu with Great Tusk for that reason. And you could say in hindsight, maybe long term, getting rid of the hazards would be more important, but you never really know for sure, as he decides to go into Terapagos to revenge kill me. And for the most part here, I'm not fully sure what I want to do. I think what I want to do is I just want to potentially break this thing's Terra Shell. So I don't want to let this thing get a Calm Mind up for free by switching into something like, say, Grimmsnarl for the matter, because that's going to take a lot. But he decides to go for Rapid Spin, which does do a lot of damage, all things considered. Like, I am a Great Tusk. Like, this thing is not a slouch on the physical defense department. But it does just enough to kill me, gets rid of my hazards. But now I decide to go into Grimmsnarl, as I am at full HP right now. I'm at a very good HP pool. So what I decide to do is I want to Spirit Break here, just because it's going to punish anything that wants to switch in on me. And if he decides to stay in here and Calm Mind, or just attack me, or whatever he wants to do, Spirit Break is going to lower that special attack stat, so he can't reliably set up on me. But he tries to anyways. Considering that at the end of the day, I could always go for screens. Maybe I would have swapped here, but again, swapping there would have meant that something else would have taken that big damage. But here, I break his Terra Shell and I lower that special attack stat. So this puts me in a really good position with Necrozma, because Necrozma, at the end of the day, like, nothing else really enjoys switching in here. Nothing resists my attacks. Terra Starstorm does a lot of damage to me here, but Spirit Break allows me to do a solid chunk back and lower that special attack. He is now at -1. And here, now low-key I'm kind of running back and forth between in my room, like trying to close my door and stuff. So yeah, maybe not my best moment here. But I'm kind of weighing my options. Light Screen would allow me to always be able to live this next hit, but he outspeeds me. So what would I really be able to do afterwards? I could potentially Parting Shot. Or here, what I could possibly do is I could go for Spirit Break again, get a little bit more damage off, and then Light Screen afterwards, making sure that my Light Screens stay up one more turn. I'm really not sure what I want to be doing here, just because getting at least my Light Screen up, because at the end of the day, he only has special attackers left, unless for whatever reason he is running physical Regieleki with Volt Switch, which is a possibility, but I opt for Light Screen, just because I know I can always live this next hit with that +2. So he goes for Terra Starstorm, and like I suspect, I am able to live. I think I would have been able to live anyways if I went for Spirit Break, but what I opt to do now is I go for Parting Shot, because now he is going to be at even less HP, and it maintains differential. Granted, I know I'm in playoffs, differential does not matter, but I am that guy. So I am going to bring this in. I'm going to bring in Necrozma now, because this is always able to switch in easily on any type of normal move, and he is at -2, and I am at +2 with screens up. So what I opt to do now is a Dragon Dance. I now am in a position to set up. He is going for Calm Mind here, which is honestly fine for me, because I am essentially at +3 special defense, and anything he could really go for, it's not going to do a lot of damage to me. He could potentially go for another Calm Mind, but even at -2 then, because of screens, he would only be able to possibly kill me with a crit. And that's only possibly. But he goes for a Calm Mind again, as I go for another Dragon Dance, and now I am at a really good position, because I will outspeed him in this next turn. I will guarantee be able to outspeed him this next turn, so that means I can't be flinched by Dark Pulse or anything like that if he decides to go for it. And if he goes for anything else for that matter, he just can't do as much damage to me if he doesn't go for Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse. And even then, Shadow Ball, if he gets a minus special attack, that's fine. Or not special attack, special defense. That's completely fine with me at this point in time, because now I am always able to outspeed pretty much everything on his entire team, outside of maybe Regieleki at this point in time. So I'm kind of weighing my options. Do I want to get a little greedy and go for another Dragon Dance, or do I want to attack? Of course, I'm gonna greed, because why the fuck wouldn't I? I am a greedy boy. But now, we shall see that he goes for Dark Pulse, which I am very happy about because that does nothing and procs my weakness policy, which basically seals the deal for me. Because now at +5 attack and +2 special attack, he can't really come back and beat me at this point. Earthquake can basically sweep through his entire team. And of course, once he gets Terrapagos, and then we shall see who Necrozma's next victim is. Weakness policy Necrozma, everybody. Behind screens, this thing is broken. I don't know who the heck allowed this mon. Looking at you, Nova. I know you did. With screens, this thing is broken. You may not think that it is broken regularly, but behind screens, this thing is definitely broken and should not be allowed in the league, in my opinion. But if you do, I'm fine drafting it. Completely fine with it. I've been having so much fun with Necrozma this season, guys. If you can't tell, did not go for Terra. It wouldn't have saved him, but at the end of the day, I was kind of curious what the Terra type was. I was kind of curious about it, but I do suspect that he was Terra Ice, because if he was Terra Fairy, he wouldn't be able to hit Clodsire, which would have made 2 mons who couldn't hit Clodsire, which I don't think that would have been the best thing in the world, personally, especially considering I brought Clodsire to every match. But now I am in the mood to just show him my whole set. So I'm going for the the adamant 0 special attack investment stored power, which kills this thing 3 times over. Light screen wears off, but again, this does not matter. I am at +3 speed. Dialga is never able to outspeed me here, and he is at such a low HP stat that I am always able to kill him with anything. So what I am deciding to do is I'm going to go for knockoff. Huge GG's to Adam. I said this in my original recording, but I was super nervous for this battle, and it still honestly it makes me feel really good as a battler that I was able to pivot and put myself in this good of a position. I feel like I'm kind of washed sometimes. So at the end of the day, I'm really proud of how I've played this battle here, and I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought of the battle down below, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am on my way to 200 subs, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.